Defining what counts as natural is a bit tricky. There is a fine line between natural and artificial, but that's not the real issue. I want to argue here that the main problem isn't that something is natural or not, but that this tells us nothing about its value. But to explain why, I need to take you to 18th century Scotland. One of my favorite philosophers, I have named the great David Hume, lived there. Hume was way ahead of his time. For example, he understood that emotions, not reason, drive human behavior. And that aligns with modern neuroscience and psychology. Why am I making this YouTube channel, remind me? Yet, in his time of the Enlightenment period, philosophers viewed reason as some sort of god and emotions as just distractions. He also was a true skeptic and empiricist, questioning the very foundations of reasoning. But what interests me here is his guillotine. Nothing bloody though, don't worry. Hume's guillotine is the statement that you can't derive an ought from an is. That is one of the classic philosophical punchlines that we hear again and again. Maybe that I hear again and again? Who knows? I'm weird. It's like Descartes, I think, therefore I am. Although, to be precise, Hume didn't exactly say this sentence, but it's a good summary of one of his thoughts. So why is it related to this video, and what does it mean? Basically, Hume noticed that philosophers of his time often wrote about descriptive claims, the is part, and then switched to a prescriptive claim, the ought part. And they did so without any justification. They say that the world is a certain way, and therefore we have to act in this way. Do you now see the connection with the natural fallacy? It's exactly the same thing. X is natural, therefore X is good. Or Y is unnatural, therefore Y is bad. But a description isn't a decision. So, to anyone who justifies something by saying that it's natural, just ask him, so what? It may be natural, but is it good for me? Is it good for society? Is it ethical? Is it just? All these questions have to be answered and can't simply be derived from the fact that it's natural. There is plenty of natural stuff that is bad and synthetic stuff that is good. We already saw that synthetic vitamin C is as good as the natural one, simply because they're identical. Another good example are vaccines. They are completely artificial. I mean, we inject ourselves with a safe version of the pathogen. This goes against every natural intuition that we can have. And yet, vaccines have saved hundreds of millions of lives and eradicated disease such as smallpox. Catching the disease outright is far more risky than taking the vaccine. So this is a clear case where something artificial is much better than our natural immune system. Another case study is iodine salt. It was introduced in the 20s when we noticed that populations far away from the sea were suffering from iodine deficiency. So we decided to artificially introduce iodine in the salt, and this drastically reduced the deficiencies in these areas. So, except if you want everybody to live by the sea, you are going to need this artificial trick. So maybe you think that artificial can be good, but natural for sure is always good. You'd be wrong, again. First, all diseases are natural and bad. You have natural disasters such as tsunamis or earthquake. I mean, it's in the name. Venomous species can be deadly, and you shouldn't eat a toxic mushroom. And even products that can be sold in supermarkets are also natural and bad. For example, raw milk can be seen as a healthy alternative, but it actually carries dangerous bacteria, and this is why we invented pasteurization. Okay, so from the previous section, we saw that the barrier between natural and artificial is quite blurry. And from this section, we saw that anyways, natural doesn't mean necessarily good. The question then is, why do we still feel that it's a good argument? That's what I tackle in the full deep dive. Links in the description.